Salutations. All right, I want to talk about something very specific concerning the ECETI Ranch. I'm pretty excited about this because it's something I've been talking about for 2 years. You can go back and look at some of the videos I did, even when I was on the property 2 years ago. I did a video with John Bertoli and Larkin O'Toole, and I said the same thing. I also did a video on Patreon that was about kind of a regression I underwent before I went back to the ECETI Ranch the second time. So what I'm going to do is kind of talk about this, what I saw, correlate this information that I had gotten from these experiences with something that's going on out there right now. And in the first video, I'm going to go ahead and release that one on YouTube so people can see it. It's a longer video, and I was never going to do that, but it's necessary so that it can be correlated with what I'm going to talk about right now. All right, this one thing would be is when I went to the ECETI Ranch the first time, all right, I had so many experiences that literally stopped my perception. And I'm at an age now, I thought I wasn't going to go through that anymore, but it stopped my world enough to where I had to see what did my superconscious record during these experiences. Because I know a lot of these beings in these ships, and these beings are on a superconscious level with us, and they're so fast, their vibration, that that's where the contact occurs with for us. So I wanted to access that. I tried, because when these ships were up on me at that ranch, I was trying to telepathically tune in, and I could only see and tune in so much. But I know much more was going on in that I was somewhat unconscious of. And also things that were happening in the dream state there. It's a very odd when you finally start dreaming out on that property, you know, you think things start going on, like you're in contact with beings, or maybe you've been inside of the mountain or something like that. So I talked a little bit about the beings that in another video. Go back and look at the other video. I talked about the beings I saw in there, and something that I saw and felt was correct about this mountain even before the regression, all right? Information that comes through when you get out there. One is I saw a device out there, and I believe there is a device inside that mountain that scans our soul life memories and then produces an effect of some type that pushes our perception forward. And I think it does that with the orbs. I think it produces orbs. And when one of those orbs gets in our field of awareness, using the quantum hologram theory of consciousness, when actually they can be attached to our individual atoms of our body. So you get one of these orbs in your biofield, it changes and alters your perception. Whether it's the Sasquatch, whether it's the ships, or whatever the case may be. But I think that that is something that this device does. And I even correlated that with when I had to do a Skywatch, was the first one I've ever done, all right? I had everyone do a pineal exercise, and you have a lot of clairvoyance in the room, and they start seeing this grid. They're all describing the same grid. I was like, okay, this grid seems to be coming from this device that is inside of this mountain. Now, okay, taking this a step forward from there. This device, I feel that it also generates a light, okay? So this is like a power source too, inside of this mountain. And in that way, it somewhat reminds me this is the engine I've shown you before. Now, it didn't have the gyroscopic thing, what I was seeing, but there is actually a column of light, like AGLE light, that's in the middle of that mountain, all right? And it's also involving this device. It's around this device. Now, taking it one other thing I'm seeing. When I went to ECETI Ranch the second time, I'm seeing the first night I'm there, I'm using these binoculars, standing with Erica Lukes and John Bertoli. And there's several other people there too. But anyway, there's on the side of this, what they say is a dimensional door, which is right here. There looks like what is a pyramid, okay? Right here. And this is the dimensional door that glows odd sometimes, but more of this pyramid structure over here. I'm looking through these binoculars, and I'm seeing what looks like disco lights, sparkling lights in there, like a strobe light almost, like a processor from one of those 1960s movies where something like that, like the Mind Man, but it looks like a processor. And I've got other people looking at this. I watched this thing for 45 minutes. I've got other people looking at it. I'm telling you, tell me when nobody's shining any light on the mountain or anything, these lasers or anything, they're saying nothing, nothing. And I'm seeing this. Other people are observing it, okay? So that is some type of device I knew that was in there. Now, taking this information, cross-referencing it, I did a show with James Gillian probably about 2 months ago, and he said that there were things that they were doing that was corroborating what I'm talking about. Well, there's a place called the Right Hemisphere Remote Viewing that remote viewed the ranch. And you know, that's interesting when you get those targets that people don't know what they're shooting at. And they saw some things. Now, what I find is so fascinating about this is that they said they started describing a device inside the mountain that looked like a Merkaba, crystalline Merkaba, that was moving and generating energy. Okay, then something else that I thought was highly fascinating is that they talked about a dimensional portal, what they sometimes call a Stargate out there, but more to the point, they called this a singularity inside of the mountain. This is a singularity, and they described all these entities rushing through this singularity. Okay, and then they start describing certain types of the beings out there, including the cat beings. I myself, during this regression, realized that on one of these ships, when you're dealing that bilocation, what you've seen, I saw a feline there myself. And it left me thinking, like, was that something that this device produced from my subconscious? Because it read me and knew I had not seen a feline being on one of the crafts I've been on yet, so it produced something from my consciousness. I had to go with that, but no, I don't think so, because they're talking about that's what's out there is these feline beings, and they're what's protecting this gate. Now, when it comes to this Stargate that they're talking about, this singularity that they're all rushing through and that they're all protecting right now, these entities are protecting, man, you can see it on this mountain at night. It glows. It glows right around in here. There's a circle, a little green light. And people try to explain, oh, it's campers, it's this, it's that. No, it isn't. It's very odd. And it, like, between 3 and 4 a.m., it gets even brighter, okay? That is the singularity. You can see it. So that's taking things that I was saying that I have been talking about for a long time, not just now. This 2 years, you can go back on my channel, look at the stuff I was saying about the ECETI Ranch. Look at, I've only been doing videos, heck, 2 years now, but look what I was saying on there. And when I was sitting with Larkin and John, I was saying the same thing. I was on the property at that point. So yeah, I went out there the second time because I wanted to know what my superconsciousness had experienced. We record things a lot, and I'm very lucid right here in this dimension. You know what I'm saying? But we have to acknowledge that some of these beings are on a frequency that is so fast that it's hard for us to retain a conscious memory right now with this. But anyway, so just backing up, I think it's very interesting how this remote viewing backs up what I also saw. So anyone that's been out there, these are things you can experience. You can go out there and hear these Sasquatch using infrasound in between the mountain ranges. You can go out there and hear that sometimes. You can see these things coming out of the mountain, going in the mountain, next door to the mountain, which I will still stick to. I talked about how there's a power source, I believe, in the middle of Mount Adams, okay? And on the next side, on the side over there, is the Sleeping Lady mountain range, all right, with the 3 mountains, or the three humps. And when I told you there was the craft went down here, and this became holographic to a degree, we could see inside it. There is a city in there, I believe, that is powered by Mount Adams. By that device, and there is also a power center. That's what I'm saying, all right? Now, I don't know. They haven't remote viewed that. I'm unaware of that. But I think there's this crystalline city in there, just like what I saw. Anyway, so go back and please look at the other video. I'll put it on YouTube so people can see it. I'm going to wrap this up. And it's more, the other video is even more exclusive on what I saw in my regression specifically. I wasn't going to release that, but I think it's necessary because if you have these things happening to you that are jarring your awareness, man, don't be afraid to explore it. Find it, because this is right here scientifically getting verified. There are people at the ranch that are looking at the electromagnetic frequencies out there. They're off the charts. So it's not just me talking about this. This is real. Someplace you can go and experience it yourself. That's all I got to say on that. Please check out the other video. Put it together. Oh, one last thing. This connects to the Merkaba I've talked about. I saw a ship that turned into the Merkabas. And when you start talking about what I saw flashing in the mountain, there's a connection there. I'm trying to figure this out. We're dealing with old technology that's super advanced. Peace!